Okay, welcome to week one, devlog. I'm gonna record it and I'm not gonna delete it. I say this because I recorded one yesterday, which it was Sunday. That was the day I wanted to do. That's technically like the 1 week. Now I'm a week and a day. I'm a cheater. Um, but I wanted to get that video out yesterday. I made it, and in the video, I kind of went through the process that I needed to do in order to figure out the solutions to the problems I was facing at that time. And it was such a trivial fix once I had actually gone through and kind of followed the problem through from its beginning to its end point. Once I'd done that, it was like 15 minutes. I wrote like 5 lines of code, and everything just started coming together. And so now I have this system that the last video was all about how, oh, I just got to finish this and it's going to be some boring, oh, tedious. And no, it was a simple solution. And it was just, my head was, I didn't have my head wrapped around it completely. So I'm going to do it again. This time, though, hopefully, I think I know what I have to do. So hopefully this time I don't end up, just completely deleting everything again and restarting, not the project itself, but, the video, the report of what it is. So here I go, and I have to start with what even is nThread because I haven't defined that yet. So what is it? What word? Yeah, that's good. Excellent. So what is nThread? You ever played the game Slalom? You play in a little ship. That's my ship. And you're dodging the obstacles. You move left, you move right, two-dimensional plane. I think there was, when I was in high school, there was one online it was just called Slalom, and it was king. It was really good, really fun, really addicting, and really simple. A lot of kids like to play it. And I made a game a while ago called nThread, not advanced. And it was really fun. It was really addicting to me because you'd have these obstacles flying at you at like the speed of sound. And it was, well, obviously not the speed of sound, but it was really great. It was like flow. Your things are rushing by you and you're dodging them and you feel good. So I'm gonna build a slalom kind of game, and instead of just two-dimensional motion, I'm going to have a field. That was what the original nThread was. So, you're on this two-dimensional field. The scene is slicing through you in kind of time. It's moving past you, and you're dodging obstacles. Some parts will be blocked, and you got to get up through the hole there, or else you die. And when I made nThread, it was simple. Everything was a block, and I put like a hole in the block, or I made it so that like you could only go to one side of the scene. So you'd go left, right kind of thing, or sometimes you'd go under and then over. And you had to kind of learn the obstacles before you could get really good at it. So what I want to try this time around is making the obstacles a little more interesting, a little less challenging, so that I can throw more of them at the player and get that kind of flow thing going on without it. In the original nThread, like the slightest mistake had you just nuked right off the bat, even not even in the harder parts of the game where it gets fast, right? So that's a thing that I'm thinking about. The other element of nThread that I think is cool is that when you play on the track, you're playing your way through a soundtrack or like a song, and the song has different components, and so like maybe it'll play the intro and then you move into the first verse, and the first verse offers a challenge. So you're playing the loop until you get the challenge conditions met and you get to move on through the song, right? And so like a perfect performance, you just basically play the song for what it is without having to repeat any section, or shortcut it even. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure about that part yet. The game itself, it's very simple, and the reason for that is because it's going to go on web build, and I want to have it be this kind of like somewhere between free and inexpensive, like a gradient where a new user can get started for free, and then it's a couple bucks and you own everything. I don't want to. The idea, like the way I designed it, you can like part out the tracks and do all kinds of cool stuff. The client itself is like a layer, right? Or that kind of sounds dumb, but it's just a thin client that downloads the tracks for you. So I could have gigs of tracks, and I could have this really lightweight client still, and each track, a small one should be a few megs, and I don't know how big they can get. It depends on the compression. I can have things like different quality levels. I can increase poly counts. The option is there for standalone builds, but I'm kind of focusing on web builds because it brings you back to like Slalom, right? It was these simple games you played in your browser with very few strings attached, and I'd like to make a bunch of them and have them all hosted together, where you can sign up for an account for this small community. It's simple. I don't care about who you are. I don't care about the advertiser thing. I don't even know how it all works. It's probably means I'm gonna fail and be broke, but I might make some cool games. um, so there's the game builds on web, simple gameplay. Like I said, I do want to have like a premium, like you drop a couple bucks and there's a career mode, or a couple extra game modes. With the track, oh man, look at these beautiful diagrams. Oh my, let's pop up the client. There it is. With the track, oh no, you're gonna know my password because I don't have the password field as a password. Don't look, guys. Don't look. It's very important that you don't look. Okay. See, it worked. I could, I haven't even tried putting in fake information, but there, I just downloaded a track. The track is downloaded. I hit play, and absolutely nothing happens. That's as far as I got. So I will be able to show off like what's going to happen when you hit play and there's not missing code there. But there's my client. It's running in the web browser right now. The scene is stalled and it's in a weird state because, literally because of the demo I did yesterday. I messed a bunch of stuff up. Let's take a look at nThread inside of its better habitat. Here we go. Boom. Here is nThread. And oh, you know what? This is the thing that I was doing before, where it's like now I should do a bunch more work here so that I can make it look nice. But there's hell. I put hell in. So that's the first track I wanted to make is should be saying HE double hockey sticks. It's terrible word. So when you boot the scene up now, I have to also change. This is what got me messed up last time, was not being ready, but when I made the changes I made last night, I got so excited because I had never done this asset bundle downloading and unpacking thing, and I finally started getting objects out of it. And I got, excuse me, I got objects on the standalone, the editor. I got objects out of the web build. So I'm, yeah, you hit the web build button sometimes, and it's like everything should work as far as I know, but there's so many even undocumented little details that just, oh, that doesn't work in WebGL. So let's find a different approach that we can take here. And so far it's been working. So I'll set the game speed to like 2. Might be a little too fast. We'll hit play in our scene here. And it's actually gonna, I don't have any cookie system for different locations, so it's giving me a unknown error, which is actually supposed to be a cookie error. And don't look at my password again. That's not even my email anymore. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And we have to make the main menu. I can download the track from here too. It works. Hitting play does nothing, but it's showing down here that, I've got my debug log going on that's showing me that there's something that's gonna happen there. It's just not quite ready yet. And we'll get this up. Canvas, get out of my way, main menu, boom, and here is like, it's literally the placeholder for what nThread should look like. Let's get it full screen, or full screen-ish. Let's get my ugly mug out of the way of nThread's magical beauty. Yeah. And then, there we go. So, the ship kind of tilts and banks. I just put a quick little rotator in there. It juts around, but I'm gonna fix that. That's easy fix. I think it's a matter of having like a turn value and then having the input affect that value. Right? And right now, all the rotation and stuff is based directly on inputs. When it jumps around, it so that's good. The ship itself is it's moving through the scene, right? But the scene is moving with it at a parallax, so you're proceeding through the scene, and then also the boundary, the edge boundary there, it is it's scrolling as a scrolling texture, so it's giving you a little bit of perceived speed, I guess you could say. You're moving faster than you appear to be from the geometry, and I did that kind of as a way to put the player like right on top of the geometry and still have it appear that they're really not there. It seems to be working for me so far. The reason I wanted to do it like that was I thought it'd be cool if you made it through a big long track, and that background should be the least of your concerns. So if you're playing and you happen to notice the background during a break or something, and it appears you're in a different place in the scene, I thought that'd be really cool. That you are progressing even though it's a useless element. So all of these things, the ship, the scene itself, they're going to be loaded in from the asset bundle and then displayed on screen like this. And the asset bundle I'm working with, oh, can't see the name of it, which is unfortunate, but you can see that it's right here. Rocky Starts, that is real. Like, there's a couple of obstacles in there. There's this environment. There's 4 audio tracks. And it's I can't remember how big it is. I'm trying to find a... Oh shoot. The one thing I hate about this thing is, you do the video and you're thinking, it's with me at least, my thinking just goes right through the floor. I don't know what I'm doing. I become a novice again. Where's my asset bundle browser? Maybe the asset bundle browser would be something fun to talk about, because it's terrifying to me that, some of these things you don't know if they're going to be around for much longer, and makes me worry. And actually, I honestly can't find... Oh, there it is, all the way on the other screen. Can I get it over? Yep. Here we go. So here's my asset bundle setup. There's all the files in it and packed up. Really tiny textures and everything. And the model, you'll notice, like, it looks terrible. All the models look terrible. I'm not that bad. I kind of am at the same time, but I'm doing it just to keep it low poly. I want to see how much junk I can cram in there, and then I want to push up the quality on different things or make different packages available. I think it would just be nice to have, like I said, like this thing where, like in the old days, it didn't matter what computer you were on. You just go to that website and you'd play that game, and then when the technology got a little better, they started adding these things like saving and loading and your characters being built, and I don't see a lot of it anymore. And when I do, it's covered in advertising, and it looks like it just looks like the people don't really care. Maybe. It's hard to say. You have to do a lot of junk sometimes to do what you want to do. So the bundle itself here is sitting in around 2.4 megs right now. That's uncompressed. I think I could compress it a little bit on the web server side. I'm not sure about on the asset bundle side. There is the option, but they say in WebGL it gets a little messy, and I have already had a ton of problems with the asset bundles, so I'm not a fan of playing around with how much they can take before they break. So I'll show off a couple more things, and then I'm going to shut her down, because I probably mentioned it, but I was up to like 4 in the morning just excited about this little piece of code, because it was something new for me. I'd never, I haven't ever streamed a scene outside of Unity into Unity. I'm technically stitching together downloaded audio at runtime. When you describe it in proper terms, you just feel like a boss. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if it looks like crap. It's still kind of cool. Okay, so what I wanted to show off was a couple of the a couple of the objectives or the obstacles, which I've been working on revamping. Oh, here, and you can see here. Look at this. This is perfect. Look at how we can see the process as, you know, the scene is moving with it, but you can see that it is a little smaller, or it's a little. It is hard to verify that because as I move, the perspective changes. But if we left this for a really long time, I assure you, you would end up over there. I won't have time to display that because it's a pretty easy visual, I think. Even when the character moves up and down and stuff, I made it so that you could see it moving around there. Look at that. So that there's that parallax that, you know, it's following you around because it's way bigger than it appears, right? So let's show off some obstacles. And I'm going to have to do something like, well, probably not, actually. I'll just drop it right in. Let's see. And these are admittedly like embarrassing, but just to kind of give you the idea of what's going on, right? So there's my lava flow, and I just I remeshed a little bit of it, so it's supposed to the texture's supposed to scroll upwards instead of sideways. I could probably fix that, but that's why I deleted the last video. And then I made the center smaller so you can see these shockwaves are a little too big, but that's the principle I'm working on. And you know, this coming at your face, you're gonna dodge over to the side. Maybe you can squeeze above. I'm not sure. So there's the lava. I think I call it a lava flower. Yeah. And then something that could be fun, I was thinking for these is you see at the bottom here, there's there's like a font, I guess, that it comes out of. Maybe have that displaying always, and then have the lava like shoot out at random times. So if you're not paying attention, you know, you can see there would be an obstacle there, but if you're not paying attention, it'll catch you by surprise, right? So that's an idea I got. Pretty proud of myself. And what else got? Oh, the demon seed, which is oh god, why am I even doing this? It's because I'm. Let's see. Here it is. And actually, yeah, this is the graphics aren't impressive, but the principle's kind of cool. Here he goes. Here we can see him. So the same thing, you know, you'd want to be where he isn't, of course. And he is, this is kind of a cool thing. I used normalized time. So when he arrives at the waypoint in the corner, he's at the end of his animation. And then it starts at the beginning. When he's leaving the waypoint, he's at 0 normalized time. He's at the beginning of his animation. Halfway, he's at 0.5. He's arrived at 1. You can see he kind of pivots around. And I tried animating the pivoting in Blender because I thought it would be just really easy to animate this waypoint based stuff. I set up a square that was as big as my playfield, and I just keep them inside of it. It would have made it look really like I could customize the way everything works. But if you rotate a character 360 degrees like that in Blender, I think it's because of quaternions. It just becomes when you try to close that loop, your character tries to unspin itself. And every time I'd kind of try and, you know, unspin it or you just recreate the connection from the end frame, or once I tried offsetting it a little bit and then using that frame, and it just won't work. You've spun up the character and he won't unspin. I'd love to know a solution to that. I've even been on the Google a little bit and I've seen people asking the same question, but they'll get into drivers or something and I need to learn that. So maybe it's time to start digging into drivers and 3D modeling. But this waypoint system will, while I don't think it's going to be as easy to make something that looks, you know, really nice between Blender and the scene, I think that it'll do the job. And this is probably going to be one of the harder things for me to add. Like, it's a really weird thing that I've made here. But I want to keep him because he's cute. Or something. So those are my first two obstacles. I use prefab variants, so there's a lava flow on the right side, and there's a demon seed that actually just kind of stands there or hovers there and looks at you as he comes towards you, right? So you'd be like up in the corner, and you go to the other corner, or there'll be 3 of them, and you have to dodge in the bottom right, stuff like that. So here's actually this is before I was here. I was just retexturing that because it looked off, and then I couldn't get around to fixing the shock. So here's the C guy, and I have to pose mode this. Boom. Oh yeah, this is actually like something like, I'm not I'm not an expert, and it's week one. I'm at the end of week one, so I didn't wanna spend the whole time just animating things. So there's kind of an overview of what nThread is, what I've been up to, what have I finished so far. Well, I did the downloader, like I did the track asset downloader. I did login, I did registration, the verify email. I haven't done password reset. Should probably get on that. I've done a few of these login systems just recently. It was something that I had been getting involved with from other sources, uh, other than my personal development. I was learning about SQL and not specifically SQL, but relational databases and storage and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, I'll whip this little login script up, and I wanted to test. Let's have some fun and test if you can. I'll have to invalidate. Right? That'll. That's not a bad load. Yeah, unknown error. Okay, so let's try a bad password. Hey, so we're not entirely in trouble, and that's good. So yeah, I'll leave that all as it is for now. Like I said, I just wanted to let you guys know. I don't, what am I doing? I wanted to let myself know what I'm doing because sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll stare at my monitor and it gets big. And it's not the size of the project, right? It's the size of the thing you've been doing that week. That's something that I find that's kind of crazy is that if I wrap all this up with a nice little bow and I move on to the gameplay or whatever else I wanted to do, no problem. I'll end up mostly forgetting about it, but in some way committing it into my head and moving on with it. So I'm excited. I'm happy. It's not much to look at, but now I can start making something to look at. I think I'm gonna take a nap before I have to be a human. So have a great week. I'll see you guys on Sunday. I got a video coming. I want to make a video about things like burnout and motivation, project switching. There was a Reddit, so I'll be doing that, and I guess I'll see you guys later.